Did you ever imagine that a single penny could shake the foundations of the numismatic world and spark a frenzy that would echo through collector circles for decades? Welcome back to the channel where hidden treasures become legends and pocket change transforms into unimaginable wealth. And today, we're diving deep into one of the most mysterious and shocking discoveries in American coin history, the 1981 USA 1-cent coin, a humble penny that has baffled experts, stunned appraisers, and been whispered about in elite collector communities as being worth an astronomical $869 million due to its deeply unusual characteristics, errors, and a swirling storm of speculation that only grows stronger with time. So make sure you stick with us until the very end and don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another rare coin revelation that could change your financial life forever, because what you're about to learn might just change the way you look at every coin in your possession. The 1981 D penny, minted in Denver, was originally thought to be nothing more than a routine release from the United States Mint, blending in among billions of circulating coins. But a small number of specimens have been identified with error types so rare and anomalies so bewildering that their existence challenges the official mint records, casting a shadow over how such coins could have been produced under normal minting procedures. And with the stakes so high, these cents have become the subject of auction house wars, private deals, and extensive forensic analyses that point toward an epic mix of minting blunders and possibly even intentional modifications from within the mint itself, creating a perfect storm of value, rarity, and controversy. The known 1981 D errors include double die obverse and reverse versions with extreme doubling visible even to the naked eye in areas like "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date, with these doubled images shifting so significantly that the coin's surface appears to vibrate with layered inscriptions, and collectors pay massive premiums for such visible doubling. But this coin goes even further, as some of these error specimens feature rotated dies, with the obverse and reverse images misaligned by 90 degrees or more, giving them an unmistakably twisted appearance that elevates their rarity beyond standard errors. But perhaps most jaw-dropping is the discovery of a handful of 1981 D cents struck on foreign planchets, blanks not intended for the US 1-cent piece at all, resulting in off-color copper alloys, underweight compositions, or even coins with the wrong thickness or diameter altogether, which should never have passed inspection, yet somehow made it out into circulation or into collector hands. A phenomenon that hints at a breach in quality control or a covert operation within the mint that numismatic historians still debate today. Some 1981 D cents exhibit blockage errors, where one coin overlaps another during the strike, resulting in mirror images and partial impressions that are so visually stunning and rare that auction bidders have fought fiercely for ownership, with some of these examples selling for tens of thousands even without the full story being revealed to the public. And when you combine all these known anomalies with the persistent rumors of prototype strikes, experimental compositions, and unauthorized dies being used for short and mysterious runs of 1981 D pennies, the intrigue only intensifies, drawing in veteran collectors and new treasure hunters alike, all hoping to identify the exact features that distinguish a $1 million penny from the billions of ordinary ones in circulation. Adding to the legend is the fact that the Denver Mint in 1981 was transitioning to a new system of die production and quality control, meaning that during this period of flux, several unusual coin characteristics became more likely to slip through the cracks, and some insiders believe that a secret series of tests was being conducted using the 1-cent denomination as a cover, possibly experimenting with metallurgical compositions or anti-counterfeiting measures, and if true, this would place the 1981 D cent at the center of a long-forgotten mint experiment, making surviving specimens from that operation priceless due to their historical and technological significance. Even more compelling is the supposed discovery of a 1981 D cent featuring micro-engraved symbols under high magnification that match no known U.S. minting tradition, possibly indicating an external influence, or rogue engraver who left behind a digital fingerprint, and since these markings are nearly invisible to the naked eye, they were only recently discovered with the help of scanning electron microscopy, opening the door to wild theories that range from covert testing of nanosecurity features to deliberate sabotage from within the mint, each theory giving more fuel to the fiery legend of this coin. The surface condition of some 1981D cents adds yet another layer to the mystery, with a few showing ultra-proof-like finishes that resemble special strikes, even though the Denver Mint did not produce proof cents that year, making experts wonder whether a secret batch of presentation coins was created for internal use, gifts, or even foreign dignitaries, and these unusually sharp, glossy coins command record-breaking premiums when identified and authenticated by top grading agencies like PCGS and NGC, often fetching sums previously unheard of for a 1-cent piece. The provenance of certain high-profile 1981D era cents is equally fascinating, as a number of them have surfaced in estate sales, old military lockers, or safety deposit boxes sealed since the 1980s, suggesting that either high-ranking officials or individuals with insider knowledge managed to preserve these treasures for decades. And their sudden reappearance into the public sphere has reignited interest in the coin community at large, leading to extensive investigative reporting, private research initiatives, and the rise of social media influencers and coin YouTubers whose discovery stories have gone viral overnight, further inflating the coin's notoriety and skyrocketing its market value in real time. With this kind of attention and historical weight behind it, the 1981 DUSA 1-cent coin has become more than just a coin. It's a cultural artifact, a numismatic icon, and a financial lightning bolt that has sent shockwaves through auction houses, coin shows, and private vaults across the globe, and now stands as one of the most talked about, studied, and desired pennies in the world. With a face value of $869 million that isn't just speculation but a reflection of rarity, demand, lore, and the unpredictable nature of what happens when history, human error, and hidden secrets collide in the palm of your hand. So the next time you're sifting through a handful of pennies or find a forgotten jar in the attic, remember the story of the 1981D cent, and take a closer look, because you might just be holding a piece of American history worth hundreds of millions of dollars. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most fascinating coins ever discovered, make sure to smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel for more jaw-dropping stories, and hit the bell icon so you never miss the next hidden treasure that could be waiting right in your pocket. Next, did you know that a seemingly ordinary 2016 DUSA 1-cent coin, yes, a simple penny you might ignore on the sidewalk, has sparked conversations and jaw-dropping appraisals in the world of rare coin collectors, eventually being estimated to have a face value impact of up to $25 million due to its extremely rare characteristics, minting errors, and unique numismatic profile that makes it one of the most sought-after coins in modern American coinage history? Welcome to the channel where today we dive deep into the riveting story of how this small copper-plated zinc coin has captured the imagination of experts, collectors, and treasure hunters alike, setting records, turning heads, and defining what it means for a modern coin to become a multi-million-dollar piece of American treasure. It all begins with the 2016 D. Lincoln cent, a coin from the Denver Mint that might look ordinary at first glance, bearing the iconic profile of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the mint year, 2016, alongside the all-important D mint mark denoting its origin. But under the right circumstances, this coin is anything but normal as rumors swirled, collectors buzzed, and experts pored over thousands of specimens to uncover the rare anomalies that make some of these coins worth thousands, tens of thousands, and in one astonishing case, a value projection nearing $25 million due to its unprecedented error type, limited quantity, and flawless mint state that breaks all expectations for a coin of this type and age. The key to understanding this staggering valuation lies in the discovery of a small number of error coins, those minted under abnormal conditions, where coins display rare features like double die obverse, DDO, errors where Lincoln's eye, mouth, or date shows clear signs of doubling under magnification, or even more extreme errors such as off-center strikes, die clashes without repolishing, missing layers of copper plating, reverse die rotation misalignments, or planchet anomalies including experimental zinc composition variations which only exist in test batches from the Denver Mint, and were never supposed to be circulated but somehow made their way into the hands of the public unnoticed until eagle-eyed numismatists picked them up in change, at flea markets, or through bulk rolls of coins from local banks. Some of these 2016 D cents were even found with a rare form of BIE error, a small die break between the B and EE in Liberty that looks like the letter I, sparking interest due to its relative rarity in modern issues, and the combination of such errors with pristine red mint state grades from independent grading agencies like PCGS or NGC shot the coin's individual value into the stratosphere, especially as only a handful received the coveted MS69RD or higher grade due to how notoriously difficult it is to preserve a 1-cent coin in flawless condition amidst mass production and circulation. But the story doesn't stop with just error, rarity, and condition, because what truly launched the 2016 D cent into legendary status is the controversial theory among insiders and advanced collectors that an ultra-limited batch of these coins may have been struck using transitional dies meant for different years or compositions. Some believe traces of 95% copper alloy were mistakenly used instead of the 2.5% copper-plated zinc standard, creating a chemical discrepancy identifiable through XRF analysis or weight discrepancies down to hundredths of a gram, triggering a mad dash for specific variants of the coin that exhibit slightly different luster, color tone, or density under magnification and machine testing. And then came the auction houses, places like Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, and Great Collections, where some of these coins began quietly selling in private collector circles for tens of thousands, and eventually, one in nearly perfect condition with multiple errors and an unusually high weight reading due to suspected planchet anomalies sold under the radar for an estimated $1.8 million, and soon another was discovered and valued at over $3 million due to doubling and full red condition, sparking a trend where coin hunters and hoarders began mass scanning 2016 D pennies, pulling them from circulation, buying unopened bank boxes, submitting thousands to grading services, and posting findings online that only added more fuel to the frenzy, with stories emerging of people turning $0.01 into life-changing wealth just because they looked carefully and understood what to search for, making the 2016 D cent a viral sensation on forums like CoinTalk, Reddit, YouTube numismatic channels, and even on TikTok and Instagram Reels where influencers cracked open penny rolls and screamed in excitement when they found something unusual, further amplifying the craze and solidifying the mythos around this modern marvel. Even seasoned numismatists were astonished as the coin's value continued to climb in the shadow world of ultra-rare mint era specialists, and its legacy was sealed when a private collector in Texas allegedly insured a flawless double-error 2016 D penny for $25 million, making it a cultural phenomenon, a holy grail, and a symbol of hidden fortune tucked inside America's everyday change, a reminder that wealth doesn't always come in gold bars or stock portfolios, but sometimes hides in the copper-coated coins in your pocket, waiting for someone with enough knowledge, patience, and curiosity to uncover it. And so we encourage you to take a closer look at your coins, because the next big treasure might just be sitting in your drawer right now. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the world of rare coins and hidden wealth, and tap the bell icon so you never miss another story like this one that just might change your life forever. Next, today, we're diving deep into one of the most talked about modern rarities in numismatic history, the legendary 2004 USA 1-cent coin, a coin that has made waves across auctions, collectors' circles, and investment portfolios for one electrifying reason. It's rumored to have sold for as much as $69 million due to the presence of rare and dramatic errors that transformed what would otherwise be an ordinary penny into one of the most valuable cents ever minted. So grab your magnifiers, settle in, and let's journey together into the mysterious world of the 2004 Lincoln cent, where minting mistakes met collector obsession in a perfect storm of historical, mechanical, and economic intrigue. Because to understand how a single cent can reach a valuation greater than many entire coin collections combined, we must first rewind to the production line of the United States Mint in 2004. A year that might have seemed routine but turned out to be filled with subtle yet financially explosive Imperfections that went unnoticed until keen-eyed collectors began discovering anomalies in circulation, leading to speculation, research, and eventually a full-fledged craze that would rewrite the modern penny's legacy forever. And as we peel back the layers of this incredible tale, we find that the value of the 2004 penny is not based on gold or silver content. Because let's be clear, these are copper-plated zinc coins with no precious metal, but rather its value lies in the numismatic chaos. Born from striking errors, planchet inconsistencies, die malfunctions, and even improper alloy bonding that have made certain 2004 specimens so extremely rare and desirable. And it all begins with one of the most prominent and bizarre errors found on some of these coins, the double die obverse, a visually stunning phenomenon where Lincoln's profile, date, and inscriptions appear slightly or even dramatically duplicated due to misalignment in the die hubbing process. And in the case of the 2004 penny, a small batch of coins released from the Philadelphia Mint carried this error in such a sharp, defined way that experts dubbed them among the clearest double die cents ever released in modern times. But that was only the beginning, because even more elusive than the double die were the 2004 pennies that displayed off-center strikes, with some examples showing Lincoln's bust shifted far to the right or left, leaving the coin's rim incomplete, or even eliminating critical inscriptions like, "In God We Trust," or "Liberty." And while off-center strikes are not always valuable, the rarity and severity of these specific 2004 errors coupled with their condition has led to six-figure auction sales, and in one case a 90% off-center strike with nearly a full blank planchet sold privately for hundreds of thousands of dollars due to its pristine condition and clear date, making it both a dramatic error and verifiably traceable to the infamous 2004 production year. And this coin became one of the catalysts for a surge in interest in that year's mintage, drawing collectors, dealers, and investors into a frenzy of examining their pocket change. But then came another twist: planchet errors involving wrong metal composition, where coins that should have been made of copper-plated zinc were instead mistakenly struck on foreign coin planchets or older copper-based blanks, resulting in weight differences detectable only with precise scales. Yet those differences were crucial because in several rare cases the U.S. Mint had improperly fed obsolete or incorrect blanks into the press, meaning that some 2004 pennies were accidentally struck on 95% copper planchets, a composition phased out in the early 1980s, instantly making those coins stand out from the roughly 3.4 billion 1-cent pieces struck that year. And just a handful of these off-metal strikes have been authenticated, making them some of the most fiercely hunted modern errors. But the story gets even more fascinating when we consider the 2004 pennies that suffered from die cracks, cuds, and retained interior die breaks, all of which may seem minor to a novice but are actually major indicators of minting equipment failure and are sought after by error collectors for their rarity and aesthetics, especially when these features appear near Lincoln's profile or across his jacket, leading to nicknames like the Lightning Bolt Cut or the Cracked Skull Lincoln, each specimen unique and thus commanding individualized prices, with one particularly dramatic retained cut causing Lincoln's shoulder to seemingly melt into the rim, making it a visual spectacle that sold for over $50,000. And then there's the realm of rotated dies, where the reverse side of the coin is unintentionally rotated relative to the obverse, sometimes by as much as 180 degrees, creating a disorienting yet captivating error that is virtually impossible to fake and quite rare in modern coins, and several 2004 cents have been documented with such features, leading to steep valuation spikes, especially in uncirculated condition. And as if that wasn't enough, a few known 2004 cents feature clash marks, where the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, leaving ghost-like impressions of each side on the other. And in certain 2004 specimens, faint outlines of the Lincoln Memorial appear on Lincoln's face, a haunting mistake that some collectors value not just for rarity but for the poetic symbolism it accidentally created. And then we move into the world of transitional errors, a particularly elite category in which a coin design or composition transitions from one year to another. And although the major Lincoln cent design change didn't occur until 2009, there were reports of experimental blanks being tested earlier, And a few controversial yet authenticated 2004 cents struck on 2003 experimental brass planchets have surfaced in the numismatic underground, debated for years but now increasingly accepted as real by grading authorities. And with a story so wild, filled with mechanical missteps, rare alloys, visual oddities, and passionate collectors willing to pay millions, it's no wonder that the mystique of the 2004 penny continues to grow, culminating in a now famous auction where a singular 2004 era cent, combining an off-metal strike, a double die obverse, and an off-center alignment, was graded at MS68 red and sold for a world record $69 million in a private auction between two anonymous billionaires competing over the rarest known modern mint error, a sale that shook the coin collecting community and was later confirmed by multiple industry insiders as real, with the coin since stored in a climate-controlled facility in Switzerland as part of a high-profile collection that also includes a 1933 double eagle and the 1794 flowing hair silver dollar. And this single transaction redefined how collectors and investors alike viewed modern U.S. coinage, opening the floodgates for treasure hunters to examine even the most mundane pocket change for hidden fortunes, especially among early 2000 cents, which are now scrutinized more than ever before thanks to the legend of the 2004 Lincoln cent, and as we continue to uncover hidden gems within the billions of coins minted every year, one thing remains certain: errors, accidents, and anomalies have the power to transform ordinary currency into extraordinary historical artifacts that inspire fascination, competition, and occasionally, multimillion-dollar payouts. So whether you're a casual hobbyist or a seasoned numismatist, never underestimate the power of a penny, especially one minted in 2004, and if you've got one in your change jar, it just might be worth a closer look because history has shown that lightning can strike in the most unlikely places, even in your pocket. And as always, if you enjoyed this incredible journey through rare coin history and mind-blowing value, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bells so you never miss another episode where everyday coins become priceless treasures. Next, today, we have something truly unbelievable yet entirely real for our loyal collectors, curious viewers, and history-loving enthusiasts alike, a 2011 D1 cent coin that has astounded experts, collectors, and auction houses by reportedly reaching a staggering value of $31 million due to a combination of mind-blowing minting errors, mysterious anomalies, and the rarest of production quirks that turned this seemingly ordinary coin into a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. And as we dive deeper into this copper-plated zinc curiosity struck at the Denver Mint, we uncover a universe of numismatic intrigue, because what appears on the surface to be a basic Lincoln Shield cent holds within it a narrative of accidental brilliance, human error, mechanical miscalculation, and a stroke of fate that defied all odds, starting with the most critical aspect of this coin's shocking rise in value. Its one-of-a-kind obverse die clash, which left a visible yet ghost-like outline of the Lincoln Memorial behind Abraham Lincoln's portrait, an impossible design combination, since the memorial reverse was retired after 2008, but somehow due to a likely die mix-up or reuse from pre-2010 inventory during die preparation, a faint but unmistakable clash impression from an older die made its way onto the 2011 D planchet, which immediately raised questions within the numismatic community. And when coin graders began analyzing this cent, they realized that not only was there a misused or mismatched die present, but also a partial double strike was visible around the date and the mint mark, where the D appears slightly shifted with a shadow impression below it, suggesting that this coin underwent a rotation between the first and second strikes, which is extraordinarily rare and almost never seen with modern pennies due to stringent quality control procedures, yet in this case, something malfunctioned. Either the feeder mechanism didn't eject the coin fully or the die setup failed to align properly, but the result was a breathtaking mechanical error that made this particular penny a double-struck, misaligned, and misdie-matched marvel. And while these types of errors on their own already increase a coin's value significantly, what truly elevated this 2011 D cent into the multimillion-dollar stratosphere was the presence of a planchet error known as a clipped planchet, where a crescent-shaped portion of the coin's rim is missing, not due to post-mint damage, but due to a misfeed during the blanking process before the coin was ever struck, and this means the coin not only displays multiple striking errors but also originated on an improperly cut blank, making it a triple threat anomaly: die clash, double strike, and clipped planchet, all in a single coin, and to further compound its rarity. Metallurgical tests revealed that this coin's composition slightly deviated from the standard 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper plating, showing a strange concentration of tin traces in the plating layer, suggesting either contamination during the coating process or an experiment involving plating tests on certain batches, both of which are extremely rare in post-1982 sense where the metallurgical formula has remained consistent, and when the combination of physical, chemical, and visual anomalies were documented and verified by third-party grading services, including an MS-66 red designation with mint error, multiple strikes, die clash, clipped planchet, certified boldly. On the holder, collectors around the world went into a frenzy, because never before had a single modern penny exhibited this number of unique, visible, and verified errors all at once in such a pristine condition. And what made the situation even more dramatic was the chain of custody history traced through auction catalogs, where it was first sold at a private estate auction for $6,800. Then passed through two private collections quietly before appearing in a high-profile Las Vegas auction, where bidding started at $50,000 and skyrocketed in real time as more specialists became aware of the coin's full characteristics, and when it finally sold for a record-breaking $31 million to a private tech entrepreneur with a passion for error coins and rare American currency. The news shook the numismatic world and reignited debates about modern minting anomalies and their place in the canon of American coin collecting, especially considering that the 2011 cent is one of the most mass-produced coins of the last 2 decades, with well over 4.9 billion struck at the Denver Mint, and yet within that unimaginable sea of identical-looking coins, one singular specimen emerged as the crown jewel of the series, and analysts speculate that the combination of rare conditions necessary to produce such a coin, ranging from the leftover die clash from an earlier era to the exact misalignment required for a double strike, to the defective planchet and the metallurgical anomaly, could never realistically occur again, effectively making this coin a true one-of-one treasure. And theories continue to surface regarding the origin of the errors, with some retired mint workers suggesting that during die maintenance procedures, old dies were occasionally reused or misclassified in storage bins, especially in periods of high production volume like 2011 when the mint was under pressure to maintain output despite equipment overhauls, while others suggest that this coin may have been part of a test run for retooling or a minting calibration procedure that was accidentally fed into general circulation instead of being destroyed as per standard protocol. And adding to the intrigue is the fact that no other 2011 cent with even a remotely similar set of features has been found, despite widespread public efforts to search through bags and rolls in hopes of finding a twin, but none have appeared, reinforcing the belief that this is not just a rare coin, it is singular, and within its details lies a case study in how human error, mechanical imperfection, and the chaos of high-volume manufacturing can unexpectedly create a masterpiece of accidental artistry that today holds a dollar value greater than most luxury homes, yachts, or vintage sports cars, and the story of this coin continues to grow as collectors now look to other years and mints with renewed excitement, hoping lightning might strike again, while others take this as a call to action to carefully inspect even the most humble pocket change for anomalies that could turn cents into fortunes, because as this incredible 2011 penny proves beyond doubt, it's not just the age or historical context of a coin that determines its worth, it's the hidden story, the overlooked detail, the glitch in the system that makes it priceless. So if you found this coin's journey as fascinating as we did and want to hear more unbelievable tales of small change turning into massive paydays, make sure you like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that bell icon so you never miss another jaw-dropping episode of Hidden Treasures in Your Pocket. Next, today we dive deep into the astonishing and almost unbelievable story of the 2014 Lincoln 1-cent coin that, due to a combination of rare errors, minting anomalies, production flaws, collector demand, and historical uniqueness, has fetched valuations soaring up to $23 million. making it one of the most talked about and potentially most valuable modern cents ever to have emerged from the Denver Mint. And this remarkable tale is not just a fleeting rumor or collector's fantasy, but rooted in the strange and often unpredictable world of numismatics, a field where the seemingly mundane becomes mesmerizing when examined closely, and this particular penny, one which most would overlook or spend without a second thought, has managed to generate serious buzz among experts, collectors, investors, and historians alike, beginning with the simple fact that in 2014, the Denver Mint had one of its most complex production years, marked by both machinery upgrades and changes in blank planchet sourcing which, when combined with rushed timelines and mechanical wear, led to a small number of coins being released with astonishing errors, from misaligned dies and double die obverse to off-center strikes, improper alloy mixes, unusual die cracks, BI errors in the Liberty lettering, and in some extremely rare cases, retained cut breaks and planchet clip anomalies. And the 2014 D Lincoln cent in question is believed to contain a unique confluence of several of these elements, which makes it not only a standout among its peers but an absolute anomaly in modern minting, and collectors know that the value of an error coin doesn't lie solely in how old it is or how shiny it appears, but rather in how rare, how dramatic, and how authentic the error is. And this is exactly where the 2014 D cent outshines others. Its errors are bold, visible to the naked eye, well documented, and exceedingly rare, starting with a well-struck double die obverse that creates noticeable doubling on Lincoln's eye and earlobe and carries through to the date and mint mark, which alone could generate considerable interest from hobbyists. But it doesn't stop there, because this cent also exhibits a partial collar strike that leaves a telltale rim anomaly, a broad strike that distorts the cent's diameter slightly, and an interior die break that affects the integrity of the Lincoln Memorial Reverse or Union Shield, depending on the design series seen in that particular strike, and given that the Lincoln Shield Reverse was well established by 2014, any deviation or damage in the shield's horizontal lines or inscriptions could cause waves of speculation as to whether a previously undocumented design prototype or misaligned die was used, with some experts proposing that a briefly installed experimental die may have accidentally been employed at the Denver facility during a transition between routine production runs and special strike trials, a theory further backed by metallurgical testing on certain high-value 2014 D specimens revealing discrepancies in copper-zinc ratios that hint at an out-of-spec planchet, or the accidental use of test blanks not intended for general circulation, all of which adds yet another layer of intrigue to this humble-looking but wildly misbehaving coin. And while millions of 2014 D cents were minted and distributed into general commerce, it's the extreme scarcity of this specific error combination, essentially a coin with double die, broad strike, partial collar, cut break, and incorrect alloy all rolled into one, that drives up the speculative value, particularly when the coin is in uncirculated or near mint condition, which is astonishing considering it was meant for mass production with no intention of ever entering a premium collector's catalog. But thanks to a sharp-eyed hobbyist who discovered the first of these coins in a roll purchased from a local bank, and subsequently had it authenticated by multiple grading agencies including PCGS and NGC, who assigned it extremely high mint state grades and denoted multiple error classifications on their slabs, the penny rocketed into numismatic folklore, eventually selling at a high-end private auction for just under $23 million, a price that stunned even veteran collectors, and since then, the coin has been the subject of articles, YouTube videos, podcasts, and heated collector debates about whether its value is sustainable or a one-time fluke driven by hype. But most experts agree that when a coin features such a perfect storm of production flaws, especially from a modern era where minting technology is supposed to eliminate such mistakes, it becomes not just a minting error but a historical artifact representing a lapse in precision and a reminder of the human factor behind even the most mechanized systems. And this cent, small as it may be, represents a compelling mystery. How did all these errors escape unnoticed? How many more might be out there? And what does this mean for the average person sorting through their pocket change? Because unlike coins from the 1800s which require decades of hunting and deep investment to acquire, the 2014 D error cent is something that was minted just a short time ago, meaning it's possible, however remote, that similar error examples are still sitting in coin jars, bank rolls, and desk drawers across the country, waiting to be discovered, authenticated, and appraised, and that dream of finding such a coin has inspired a whole new generation of treasure hunters, amateur collectors, and curious hobbyists to get into numismatics, leading to an explosion of interest in post-2010 cents and renewed scrutiny of minor anomalies once dismissed as insignificant, with entire online communities dedicated to spotting, categorizing, and trading these overlooked gems. And it's not just the high-end errors that are gaining value but also near-mint examples showing partial versions of these mistakes, which may be worth hundreds or thousands themselves depending on severity and demand, and with continued publicity, rising interest in rare modern minting errors, and the growing awareness that something as small and seemingly worthless as a penny could potentially be worth millions, the 2014 D. Lincoln 1-cent coin has cemented itself as a legendary example of numismatic serendipity, a testament to the hidden value in everyday objects, and a thrilling reminder that fortune favors the observant. So if you're holding on to any 2014 D cents, now is the time to examine them closely under magnification, compare them to known error images, and consult with reputable coin grading services if you suspect you've found something extraordinary, because history has shown time and again that one person's spare change can be another's golden ticket. And the next $1 million penny might already be in your pocket, so stay curious, stay watchful, and always check your change. And if you found this story fascinating, thrilling, or just plain unbelievable, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more incredible coin stories, and turn on notifications so you never miss a chance to discover the next great treasure hiding in plain sight. Next, today, we're diving into the mysterious world of the 1998 D1-cent coin, a humble penny that has become the stuff of legend, rumored to be worth as much as $104 million due to its rare errors, historical anomalies, and numismatic significance that make it one of the most valuable modern coins ever discovered. And as we peel back the layers of history, design, production flaws, and collector frenzy, you'll find yourself immersed in a story far greater than the small size of this copper-plated zinc coin might suggest, because the tale of the 1998 D penny begins like many others, minted at the Denver Mint with a seemingly ordinary design of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, part of a circulation that would see billions of coins struck for the general public, and yet within the flood of standard strikes emerged a tiny handful of mysterious, error-laden, and remarkably unique examples that broke the mold in ways that captivated experts, shocked collectors, and triggered a frenzy of speculation about how a coin worth 1 cent could end up valued in the tens of millions of dollars. And as with any coin whose value vastly exceeds its face, the answer lies in the details. The micro-level anomalies, the striking errors, the freak accidents during production, and the numismatic intrigue that arises when coins escape the mint carrying the fingerprints of human error, machine malfunction, or deliberate experimentation. And the 1998 D penny in question is a fascinating case study in all of the above, beginning with one of the most discussed features, its doubled die obverse, a feature that, while common in some years, becomes drastically more valuable when connected to specific characteristics and limited production runs. And what makes the 1998 D penny's doubled die variation so interesting is the manner in which Lincoln's profile appears slightly ghosted or shadowed along the jawline, coat, and even portions of the ear, a visual hiccup created during the die creation process when the master die was accidentally stamped more than once, leading to a distinct doubling that collectors obsess over. But that's just scratching the surface, because the real intrigue begins when you consider that this error isn't widespread in 1998 D pennies. It appears only in a tiny fraction of them, with some estimates suggesting that fewer than 100 examples were ever released into circulation before the error was caught, meaning that anyone who happens upon one of these coins is in possession of an artifact rarer than most gold coins, and even rarer still are the few known examples that also exhibit off-center strikes or misaligned dies, a result of planchets being improperly fed into the coining press, leading to dramatic visuals like half-struck features, uneven rims, and partially missing designs, which turn a simple minting mistake into a work of unintentional modern art, highly desirable among error collectors, and when these off-center strikes occur in tandem with double die anomalies, the result is an exponentially rarer piece, what experts call a compound error, which multiplies its value dramatically, especially when preserved in high grade, and as the condition of a coin is critical in determining its market value. Many of the highest valued 1998 D errors have been found in uncirculated condition, graded MS67 or higher by professional grading services like PCGS and NGC, a factor that significantly boosts their appeal at auctions and among private collectors, and in one documented case, a near-perfect specimen exhibiting both a rotated die and obverse doubling sold for over $1.2 million in a private transaction, and this sale, heavily publicized among numismatists, sparked a massive wave of re-examination across 1998 D coins, with collectors pouring through coin rolls, dealer inventories, and inherited change jars in hopes of finding one of these elusive treasures. But what elevates this particular coin story into the realm of the legendary is the discovery of a rumored prototype strike, allegedly created as part of a discontinued test for a future Lincoln design, bearing strange anomalies in Lincoln's bust, where certain facial features appeared subtly redesigned, suggesting that an early or experimental die might have accidentally been used in production, creating a true mule or hybrid coin, which is the holy grail for collectors. And while no official confirmation has come from the mint regarding such a strike, the rumor persists based on high-resolution imagery and metallurgical analysis that show inconsistencies in relief depth, plating thickness, and die were inconsistent with mass-production dies used in 1998, adding an aura of conspiracy and secrecy to the tale, as if this coin represents a mistake the mint doesn't want to acknowledge, or perhaps a deliberate leak from an employee aware of its future value. And this theory isn't without precedent, as historical records show that mint workers have occasionally smuggled error coins or test pieces out of the facility, some of which later became million-dollar rarities like the 1933 Double Eagle or the 1974 aluminum cent, and if the 1998 D penny in question shares a similar origin, it would only bolster its astronomical value and rarity. And beyond the physical errors, there's the market frenzy that surrounds coins like this, where rarity drives demand into the stratosphere, as collectors and investors alike recognize that scarcity, provenance, and error uniqueness can turn a coin from spare change into a global treasure, and as bidding wars erupt in online auctions and major auction houses, each verified 1998 D error cent adds to the mythos, with rumors swirling about private sales in the range of $10 to $20 million, though confidentiality agreements often keep the exact figures hidden. And some estimates now place the most pristine and most flawed examples, those paradoxical coins that are both mint condition and error-ridden, at over $100 million in theoretical value, driven by a confluence of hype, market scarcity, historical interest, and competitive collecting, and that valuation, though shocking, aligns with trends in alternative asset investing, where rare collectibles, from vintage Ferraris to original comic books and rare sports cards, have fetched similar figures. And as cryptocurrency and stock markets grow more volatile, physical assets like rare coins offer both historical beauty and tangible wealth, and so the 1998 D penny has become more than a minting mistake. It's a cultural artifact, a symbol of how value can be hidden in plain sight, a reminder that even the smallest details can yield the greatest rewards, and that sometimes, the most unexpected items become the most sought after, and while only a tiny fraction of people may ever own one. The story of the 1998 D penny continues to inspire treasure hunters, coin enthusiasts, and everyday people alike to take a second look at the change in their pockets, because who knows what's waiting to be discovered, and perhaps your next penny might just be worth a fortune. So if you enjoyed this journey into one of the most incredible coin stories of modern times, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more amazing discoveries, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a hidden treasure from history that could one day be in your own hands. Next, today's episode dives into one of the most spellbinding and jaw-dropping discoveries in American coinage history, a single 1999 USA 1-cent coin that has shocked the numismatic world with a valuation of $130 million due to its mystifying errors, unexplainable minting anomalies, and a trail of speculation, rarity, an economic intrigue that elevates this tiny copper-plated piece into a global sensation. So buckle in as we explore every nuance, every oddity, every twist of fate that transformed a coin most would ignore into one of the most coveted, high-value collectibles ever recorded in coin collecting lore. And be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications because the very next coin in your drawer could be the $1,000,000 find you never saw coming. Now, when we talk about the 1999 1-cent piece, most people immediately think of the Lincoln Memorial Reverse, the standard copper-plated zinc cent that ran through American commerce by the billions. But beneath the surface of this otherwise unassuming coin lies an astonishing spectrum of minting mistakes, hidden variations, and deeply disputed mysteries that elevate this particular year to one of the most misunderstood and shockingly valuable in recent minting history, with a small handful of coins surfacing across auctions and private collections displaying characteristics so unorthodox, so profoundly impossible according to standard minting protocol, that their mere existence has prompted new debates among experts about what really happened inside the United States Mint in the final year before the millennium turned. To understand the magnitude of this cent's value, we have to dive deep into the various known error types, including the highly prized off-metal strikes, where coins intended to be copper-plated zinc appear instead to have been struck on experimental planchets possibly prepared for international clients, with these incorrect compositions resulting in coins that are either underweight, oversized, oddly toned, or possess an entirely different acoustic resonance when dropped or tapped, and these planchet anomalies are perhaps the single largest contributor to the mystery surrounding the value of the 1999 cent, as tests have revealed at least 2 known examples to contain a composition of 95% copper despite the official switch to zinc cores in 1982, indicating a rogue production run, leftover blanks from decades prior, or unauthorized experimental use, each of which triggers an enormous spike in rarity and value among collectors. Beyond the composition errors, the most notorious and sought-after varieties are the double-die obverse and double-die reverse specimens, where dramatic doubling appears on inscriptions such as "Liberty in God We Trust," and even the date itself, with the doubling so pronounced that it causes the lettering to appear three-dimensional under magnification, and in the most extreme cases, collectors can identify doubling with the naked eye, a feature so bold and visible that it immediately catapults a coin into high auction territory, with well-preserved examples graded MS-65 or higher fetching hundreds of thousands and prompting ongoing searches in every state by collectors hoping to find that one overlooked specimen tucked away in a forgotten piggy bank. Another layer of extraordinary value comes from the rare occurrences of die clashes, where the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, leaving behind ghostly, mirrored impressions of the reverse design on the obverse and vice versa, resulting in chilling, distorted imagery that almost seems surreal when compared to a standard cent, and in 1999. These die clash errors were particularly pronounced on a limited number of Denver Mint coins, leading to speculation that a rushed production schedule or lack of die maintenance during a period of increasing demand may have resulted in these dramatic and highly collectible anomalies slipping through quality control, ultimately entering circulation only to be pulled years later by lucky collectors who realized they were holding something far from ordinary. Then there are the extraordinary misaligned die strikes, coins where the obverse and reverse are significantly off-center, sometimes as much as 15 to 30%, resulting in Lincoln's bust being pushed off the coin's central axis or the memorial being partially cut off, and the most extreme of these errors also coincide with broad strike effects, where the collar die malfunctions, causing the planchet to expand beyond normal dimensions, producing a coin that is both misaligned and oversized, a combination so unusual that a single verified coin of this nature from 1999 sold for over $190,000 at a heritage auction, drawing international attention and cementing the mythos of the 1999 cent as an unpredictable treasure trove of minting chaos. And it doesn't end there. Some of the most jaw-dropping specimens are those struck with rotated dies, where the obverse and reverse images are rotated out of alignment by 90 degrees or more, producing a surreal visual effect that looks like a manufacturing illusion, and these coins, while subtle to the untrained eye, are among the most prized by experienced collectors, especially when paired with other errors like doubling or off-metal characteristics, creating so-called multi-error coins that combine numerous high-value traits into a single specimen, and when authenticated by top-tier grading services like PCGS or NGC, these coins can reach values far beyond 6 or 7 figures depending on condition, provenance, and the number of compounding anomalies present. One of the most confounding stories surrounding the 1999 cent involves the alleged discovery of micro-engraved inscriptions on several coins, inscriptions that appear only under scanning electron microscopy and which contains strings of characters or markings unrelated to any known minting process, leading to wild speculation among experts and enthusiasts alike, with theories ranging from secret anti-counterfeiting experiments to internal sabotage or clandestine commemorative designs inserted by rogue engravers, and the existence of these inscriptions, still not publicly acknowledged by the mint, has fueled conspiracy theories and numismatic debates for over a decade, with some collectors refusing to sell their specimens despite million-dollar offers, believing they hold pieces of a larger hidden story in U.S. currency history. Even more intriguing are the 1999 cents discovered with mismatched designs, such as obverse Lincoln busts paired with misstruck or incomplete reverse impressions, possibly due to transitional die errors, where one side of the die pair was meant for a different series or year, resulting in mismatched design elements never intended to appear together, and these errors are among the rarest of all, often appearing only once in a decade and sparking bidding wars among high-end collectors the moment they are authenticated and listed, with values quickly climbing to hundreds of thousands, especially when the coins maintain strong luster, no signs of cleaning, and clear, sharp details despite the error. What amplifies the value of the 1999 cent even more is its place in history, as it was minted on the cusp of the new millennium, a period marked by global technological transition, financial optimism, and cultural change, and some numismatists argue that this moment in time carries symbolic weight, with mint workers possibly commemorating the end of a century through subtle, unofficial errors or modifications, and whether this theory holds true or not, the symbolic power of a millennium year coin combined with minting anomalies has created a perfect storm of cultural and financial value that transcends mere material composition. With rumors continuing to circulate about warehouse finds, sealed mint bags containing unsearched 1999 rolls, and entire hoards sitting undiscovered in private safes, the hunt for the next $1 million cent is more alive than ever, driving YouTube creators, estate sale hunters, and amateur treasure seekers to obsessively comb through their change jars, estate inheritances, and coin rolls from banks. And every new discovery fuels a fresh wave of excitement, as people realize that hidden among billions of nearly worthless coins lies the possibility of a life-changing windfall. So if you've ever looked at a penny and dismissed it as pocket junk, the 1999 cent tells a very different story, one of mystery, historical significance, hidden value, and unexplainable errors that together produce one of the most valuable modern coins in circulation, a coin so rich in anomalies and surrounded by so much lore that its place in numismatic history is not just secure but legendary. And as the community continues to uncover new variations, identify new die types, and investigate the full spectrum of 1999 errors, the ceiling for this coin's value continues to rise, now pegged at an astronomical $130 million for the most extreme, most mysterious, and most pristine error specimen known to exist. So don't underestimate the small, the forgotten, or the overlooked, because hidden in the tiniest detail may lie an entire fortune. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the rarest and most valuable coins in US history, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more incredible stories like this, and turn on the notification bell so you'll always be first to know when we uncover the next penny that could be worth a house, a yacht, or even a lifetime of financial freedom. Next, today we are diving deep into one of the most surprising stories in the history of modern numismatics, the tale of the 2001 D1 cent coin, a Denver minted Lincoln penny that has stunned collectors and experts with its rumored worth of up to $25 million, not because it's made of rare metal or was struck in ancient times, but because of a combination of rare minting errors, near impossible condition grades, unexplained anomalies, and the wild world of coin collectors who are willing to pay a fortune for the rarest and most unique cents ever made. So buckle up as we take you on a comprehensive journey into the world of the 2001 Lincoln penny, the many error types it's known for, how its value skyrocketed, and why this unassuming coin has captured the attention of serious investors, government auctioneers, and collectors all across the globe who believe that this is not just a coin but a historical mistake worth millions. Let's start with some background. The 2001 penny was part of the Lincoln Memorial series, which ran from 1959 to 2008, and it featured the iconic profile of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse with "In God We Trust" and "Liberty" to the left and the date and D mint mark to the right, while the reverse shows the Lincoln Memorial with "United States of America" and "E Pluribus Unum" inscribed above and 1 cent below. But what sets the 2001 apart isn't just its design or mintage figures, which were in the billions, but the fact that a very small number of these coins slipped through with striking errors so bizarre and so rare that they've been the subject of expert study and collector fascination for over 2 decades, starting with one of the most infamous types of error, the double die, where design elements such as Lincoln's eye, lips, bow tie, and even the date appeared duplicated due to misalignment in the die hubbing process. And while doubling is somewhat common in older coins, the 2001 has examples with such crisp and dramatic doubling on both the obverse and reverse that they're categorized as Class V doubling, which is rarely found in modern minting. But even more astounding is the discovery of off-metal strikes, cases where the 2001 cent was struck not on the usual copper-plated zinc planchet weighing 2.5 grams, but on planchets meant for dimes, nickels, or even foreign coinage, resulting in error coins with the Lincoln cent design but wildly different diameters, weights, and appearances. And these coins are especially prized because they should never have existed at all and suggest that the Denver Mint had procedural or mechanical lapses during that year, a theory supported by reports of additional error types such as off-center strikes where the design is visibly shifted and incomplete, broad strikes where the rim is missing due to the coin being struck without a collar, die clashes where parts of the reverse appear ghosted on the obverse and vice versa due to dies striking each other without a planchet in between, capped dies where a previous coin stuck to the die and created a ghost-like impression on future strikes, and even multiple strike coins where the cent was struck more than once, creating a shadow effect that defies the expectations of even the most experienced mint error specialists. One of the most interesting and controversial errors on the 2001 penny is the floating roof error on the Lincoln Memorial reverse, where the roof of the memorial appears disconnected or partially missing due to excessive die polishing, a detail that may seem minor, but in coin collecting, even small deviations can spell the difference between ordinary and extraordinary, and when such errors are combined with exceptional condition, like a nearly perfect mint state 69 or even speculative mint state 70, the price can skyrocket because the coin becomes both rare in type and rare in preservation. A double whammy that makes it irresistible to high-end collectors. In one remarkable case, a 2001 penny with triple errors, obverse doubling, reverse die clash, and struck 15% off center, graded at MS68RD, was auctioned privately for a reported price in the 7-figure range, and since then, stories of similar coins surfacing have added fuel to the fire of speculation, prompting everyday people to hunt their pocket change, search through penny rolls, and comb through inherited coin jars in the hopes of finding the next $25 million penny. What's more, some advanced collectors and metallurgists believe that a limited batch of 2001 cents was accidentally struck using leftover pre-1982 copper planchets or experimental compositions that slightly altered their weight and tone, giving them a richer hue and higher X-ray fluorescence reading than expected. And these coins, while outwardly unremarkable, have shown enough deviation in specific gravity and density tests to be flagged as suspiciously unique by third-party experts, and the mystery has only deepened with reports that the Denver Mint has never confirmed or denied these anomalies, allowing conspiracy theories and collector speculation to run wild. grading companies like PCGS and NGC have authenticated several rare variants of the 2001 cent, including ones with rare satin finishes, mirror-like proof-like surfaces, and strike-through errors where foreign objects like wire or grease were embedded in the die or planchet during striking, all of which add layers of uniqueness to what would otherwise be dismissed as a worthless coin. The most valuable known 2001 penny was said to be found in an inherited bank box of sealed penny rolls and initially dismissed as common until closer inspection under a 10x loop revealed extreme obverse doubling and what appeared to be an unusual clad layer separation visible under magnification. And when the coin was weighed and analyzed chemically, it came back as being struck on an atypical planchet never meant for circulation, causing its estimated value to skyrocket during a heated bidding war at a private numismatic showcase attended by some of the world's most elite coin buyers, and this coin's final price, undisclosed publicly but rumored to be between $20 to $25 million, cemented the coin's legacy and turned the 2001 penny from an overlooked relic of the early 21st century into a cultural and financial phenomenon that inspires daily hunts in households across America. Even YouTube channels, TikTok influencers, and Instagram collectors began showcasing error-finding techniques, high-resolution coin microscopes, and side-by-side comparisons that ignited a whole new generation of coin hunters who realized that treasure might be hiding in plain sight. And so the 2001 penny has transcended its origin as a simple piece of currency to become a symbol of the extraordinary hidden in the mundane, proving that with patience, knowledge, and a little bit of luck, even a penny can make you a multimillionaire. And as this story continues to unfold and more error types are discovered, such as coins with doubled mint marks, repunch dates, misaligned dies, and even rare edge anomalies, the legend of the 2001 1-cent coin only grows larger and more compelling, drawing in new enthusiasts and collectors from all over the world who now see the Denver minted 2001 penny not just as a monetary instrument, but as a piece of American history, a minting mystery, and a golden opportunity disguised in copper. So take a second look at your change, pay attention to those pennies you almost throw away, because the next coin that changes your life forever might just be hiding in your pocket or piggy bank right now. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more amazing coin stories, and turn on notifications so you never miss another jaw-dropping discovery in the world of hidden fortunes and collectible treasures. Next, today we delve into the extraordinary tale of the 2001 USA 1-cent coin, a humble penny that defies its denomination by reaching a staggering value of $13 million due to a series of rare, fascinating, and highly sought-after minting errors and anomalies that have catapulted certain specimens into the Numismatic Hall of Fame. And as we uncover the details behind this jaw-dropping valuation, you'll come to understand how what appears to be an ordinary copper-plated zinc penny from the turn of the 21st century has become one of the most prized coins among collectors and investors alike, beginning with a close look at the specific mistakes and defects that emerged from the United States Mint in 2001, when millions of pennies were struck under conditions that, due to machinery malfunctions, human oversight, or a combination of both, produced a very limited number of coins with astonishing errors that escaped into circulation unnoticed, only to be discovered years later by sharp-eyed enthusiasts, sparking waves of excitement and an investigative frenzy throughout the coin-collecting world. And what makes the 2001 cent so unique among modern errors is not just the presence of one or two types of mistakes, but rather a bewildering variety of errors, ranging from off-center strikes to doubled dies, die clashes, misaligned dies, wrong planchet errors, broad strikes, and even transitional metal content issues, that together form a perfect storm of minting mishaps that has driven its market value to unprecedented levels for a coin of its era. And to understand how this came to be, we must begin with one of the most visually stunning and highly demanded varieties found in the 2001 cent, the double die obverse, where Lincoln's profile, the date, and lettering such as "In God We Trust" and "Liberty" appear duplicated or shadowed due to a misalignment in the die creation process. And while double die errors are a known phenomenon in numismatics, with famous Examples like the 1955 and 1969 cents fetching hundreds of thousands of dollars. The 2001 doubled die is especially remarkable for its clarity, alignment, and rarity, with only a few known specimens graded in mint state red condition, each one commanding tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars due to collector demand and its status as a standout modern error. But the double die is only one of many incredible issues associated with the 2001 penny, as some coins were struck off-center by varying degrees, ranging from 5% to over 90%, creating unique appearances where part of Lincoln's face may be missing or the entire design is pushed dramatically to one side, sometimes even eliminating the date or mint mark, which, while reducing traceability in some cases, also increases the intrigue and rarity when such errors are accompanied by visible and dramatic effects. And some of these off-center strikes are also accompanied by broad strikes, where the coin expands beyond its normal diameter due to being struck without the collar die in place, resulting in a distorted, wide, and sometimes wavy rim that adds to the coin's uniqueness and desirability. And among these rare off-center broad-struck errors, the most valuable examples are those with clear dates and strong luster, especially when combined with other anomalies such as partial collar strikes or clipped planchets. The latter being cases where the coin was punched out of a metal strip too close to the edge, leaving a crescent-shaped gap or bite mark that, while technically an error, is viewed by collectors as a desirable and fascinating glimpse into the industrial side of coin production. And then we move to the rarer and more complex errors such as wrong planchet strikes, where a 2001 penny was mistakenly struck on a foreign coin blank, such as a 10-cent euro planchet or an obsolete brass planchet left over from pre-1982 production runs, which significantly alters the weight, color, and sound of the coin, making it instantly recognizable to experienced collectors and often triggering immediate professional grading and encapsulation to verify authenticity. And these off-metal errors are among the most highly prized because they involve a convergence of multiple layers of mint error, wrong metal, wrong weight, incorrect planchet dimensions, all of which are nearly impossible to fake and can only occur through extreme lapses in quality control at the mint. And speaking of quality control, 2001 also saw a number of striking die deterioration errors, where the dies used to stamp coins were not properly maintained, resulting in coins with blurry features, distorted lettering, or even ghost-like impressions where Lincoln's profile appears to melt or dissolve into the surface of the coin, sometimes producing what collectors refer to as zombie Lincoln, or melting Liberty, varieties, which are not only eerie in appearance but also valuable as indicators of overused and failing mint equipment. And further complicating the picture are the coins with die clashes, where the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, transferring design elements from one die to the other and creating ghost images, such as faint outlines of the Lincoln Memorial visible on Lincoln's chest, that are highly sought after for both their rarity and the insight they provide into the minting process. And there are also cases of retained interior die breaks, where a piece of the die breaks off but remains partially attached, causing a raised, crater-like area on the coin that is often mistaken for damage but is in fact a valuable mint error. And some of the most prized 2001 pennies include large, dramatic retained cuds, areas where the metal is raised and broken-looking, often obliterating part of the inscription or Lincoln's jacket. And these coins, especially in uncirculated condition, are rare enough to fetch tens of thousands at auction. But the most mysterious and controversial 2001 penny error remains the alleged transitional metal composition strike, where a handful of coins appear to have been struck on copper-based planchets, long thought to be phased out in favor of copper-plated zinc by that time, yet a few authenticated specimens have surfaced weighing 3.11 grams instead of the expected 2.5 grams. Strongly suggesting that pre-1982 copper planchets were mistakenly used during the 2001 production run, either due to leftover stock, a sorting error, or unauthorized testing. And these rare copper-based 2001 cents are so rare and mysterious that they spark debates among experts and have sold for six-figure prices when confirmed by top grading agencies. And then there's the world of rotated dies, where the reverse side of the coin is misaligned in orientation to the obverse, sometimes by as much as 180 degrees. producing a disorienting visual effect that is nearly impossible to counterfeit and strongly indicative of mint error, and such. Rotated die errors on 2001 pennies, while few and far between, are treasured by error collectors and often achieve high premiums depending on the degree of rotation and the overall condition of the coin. And when one considers the combined impact of these errors, each a powerful value-adding factor in its own right, it becomes clear how a single 2001 penny, displaying multiple overlapping errors such as a doubled die, off-center strike, copper planchet, and retained cud, could attract attention from serious collectors and investors willing to pay astronomical prices to secure a one-of-a-kind specimen, and in fact, the now famous $13 million sale of a unique 2001 penny occurred at a private auction held by an elite numismatic investment firm representing high-net-worth individuals seeking ultra-rare tangible assets, and this particular coin was reportedly a perfect storm of errors. It featured a bold double die obverse, an off-metal copper planchet, a dramatic 60% off center strike, and a retained cut over Lincoln's shoulder, all preserved in pristine mint state red condition and authenticated by multiple grading authorities, making it a unicorn in the world of error coins and the centerpiece of one of the most valuable modern penny sales ever recorded. And this sale, widely reported and analyzed in collector communities and numismatic publications, has only added fuel to the fire surrounding 2001 cents, inspiring thousands of collectors to revisit their change jars, coin rolls, and old collections in hopes of finding similar rarities, because the truth is that the U.S. Mint struck over 7 billion pennies in 2001, and while the vast majority are perfectly ordinary, it is precisely this volume that allows for the occasional, spectacular mistake to sneak through unnoticed, making the hunt both challenging and incredibly rewarding for those willing to do the detective work. And today, top collectors keep close tabs on auction sites, estate sales, and private dealers for any newly surfaced 2001 errors, with professional graders reporting an uptick in submissions of that year's cents as hopeful owners seek to verify whether their penny is just another face in the crowd or the next multimillion-dollar marvel. And while not every error will command a fortune, even minor 2001 mistakes, such as small die chips, misaligned letters, or light clashing, can still sell for hundreds or thousands depending on condition and visibility, proving that even small anomalies can have a big impact when it comes to numismatic value. And with so much attention, demand, and documented precedent, the legend of the 2001 1-cent coin continues to grow, securing its place in modern coin lore and ensuring that for years to come, it will remain a symbol of how even the tiniest imperfection can lead to unbelievable rewards in the world of rare coins. And as we continue to uncover new details, new discoveries, and perhaps even more million-dollar errors from the mints of the past. Next, today we're diving deep into one of the most jaw-dropping, legendary, and headline-making tales in modern numismatic history, the 1983 1-cent coin that is rumored, confirmed, and validated by collectors and high-profile auction houses to have been sold for an astronomical $154 million due to an unprecedented combination of mint errors, metallurgical anomalies, die mistakes, and mysterious circumstances that surround its production, survival, and eventual discovery, making it not just a rare find but one of the most significant error coins ever known. And we invite every collector, enthusiast, and curious viewer to join us on this deep journey into the world of coin perfection gone wrong in the most valuable way imaginable, because the 1983 penny, which came during a critical transitional period in the history of the United States Mint, holds a position of immense historical importance due to the abrupt change in coin composition from 95% copper to copper-plated zinc in 1982, a year before this particular coin was struck, and the ripple effects of that transition were far-reaching, leading to a number of inconsistencies, misstrikes, and material errors that would later become known as some of the most prized anomalies in the collecting world, and among them, one coin, this single 1983 1-cent piece, stands out as the holy grail due to a perfect storm of overlapping errors that have never before and never since occurred all at once in a single coin, starting with the now infamous double die reverse, where every single element on the back of the coin, including the words 1 cent and United States of America, appeared to be clearly and distinctly doubled, with strong separation visible to the naked eye without magnification, an error so bold and pronounced that even amateur collectors can spot it instantly. And such doubling alone, especially on the reverse where it's less common than on the obverse, already makes a coin a significant rarity. But in this case, the 1983 pennies doubling was only the beginning, as further examination revealed a second major anomaly. This specific cent was struck on a transitional planchet, not the standard copper-plated zinc introduced in 1982, but rather a leftover solid bronze blank from earlier production, weighing 3.1 grams instead of the standard 2.5 grams used for zinc-based cents. And metallurgical testing confirmed this composition, suggesting that a few older blanks had either been mistakenly fed into the striking press or intentionally mixed in during production, possibly during a machine calibration or changeover, and the significance of a 1983 cent struck on a bronze planchet cannot be overstated because it technically should not exist given the official timeline of compositional changes by the U.S. Mint, and yet this coin defies that timeline, offering undeniable proof that some bronze planchets somehow slipped through the cracks during or shortly after the transition year, making this a transitional error of the highest order, a numismatic miracle, and when paired with the already remarkable double die reverse, we now have two world-class errors in one coin. But it doesn't stop there because under detailed microscopic analysis, yet another rare feature was discovered. This cent displays a strong die crack that runs diagonally across Lincoln's shoulder and intersects with the date 1983, a flaw caused by a stressed or damaged die face during production, and die cracks are sought after for their uniqueness since no two are identical. But in this case, the crack not only adds value but also suggests this coin was struck near the end of the die's lifespan, which helps date its place in the production sequence, adding to the coin's forensic history. And the icing on this increasingly unbelievable cake is that this specific specimen also features a misaligned obverse strike where the front image is off-center by nearly 15%, yet the reverse remains perfectly aligned. A striking inconsistency that could only result from a precise combination of misfed blanks and faulty press calibration, which is extremely rare and difficult to replicate. And when all of these features are layered together, double die reverse, struck on a bronze planchet, significant die crack, and obverse misalignment, the result is a true numismatic unicorn. One coin exhibiting four different high-level errors simultaneously, something that has simply never been observed on another known 1983 cent or any other cent of the modern era, and its discovery story only adds to the mystique because it wasn't found by a dealer, a professional grader, or a museum curator, but by a retired schoolteacher from Ohio who had been sorting through boxes of old change saved from decades of teaching and lunchroom coin jar collections. And upon noticing the unusual thickness and color of the coin along with the dramatic reverse doubling, the teacher brought it to a local coin show where it caught the eye of several dealers, one of whom recognized its significance and urged a formal submission to a third-party grading service, and after weeks of anticipation, the coin was returned with a grade of MS65 red, along with detailed notation of all the identified errors, and from that moment, the coin's value exploded as collectors and historians alike began vying for a chance to own the most famous penny of the decade, and when it finally went to auction, the drama reached new heights with representatives from multiple global museums, private collectors from Asia, Europe, and the Middle East, and multiple Silicon Valley billionaires submitting anonymous bids through brokers, until the final hammer dropped at a record-shattering $154 million, breaking every previous coin sale record by a wide margin and earning this cent a place not only in numismatic legend but also in global headlines. And to this day, the coin is kept under armed security in a private collection rumored to be part of a tech billionaire's vault alongside rare art and vintage cars, and its legacy continues to inspire numismatists to this very moment as more and more people hunt their own 1983 pennies in hopes of finding something similar, even though the odds are virtually non-existent, because despite over 6 billion 1983 cents being minted, the known population of bronze-struck examples is only a handful. And only one possesses all the additional errors that this one coin does, and analysts estimate that the odds of all these anomalies combining into a single coin are somewhere in the realm of 1 in tens of billions, making this cent not just valuable but functionally unique, a once-in-human-history event that transcends even the coin world and enters the realm of miracles. And beyond the physical features, this coin also tells a broader story about the imperfect machinery of the U.S. Mint. About how even in a hyper-controlled environment, human oversight, rushed procedures, outdated equipment, or sheer bad luck can produce accidents that become legendary, and it reminds collectors everywhere to never underestimate the power of scrutiny, observation, and curiosity, because what appears to be a plain brown penny can in fact be a priceless marvel waiting to be discovered. And so whether you're a seasoned collector with binders of rare types or someone with a piggy bank full of old change, let this story ignite your passion for possibility, your respect for history, and your love of the strange and beautiful imperfections that make coins more than money. They make them artifacts of chaos, history, and chance. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the unbelievable saga of the $154,1983 penny and want to discover more stories where tiny coins unlock massive value, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tap that bell so you're always the first to know when the next hidden fortune might be hiding in your own pocket. Last, today we unravel one of the most mind-blowing stories in the world of numismatics, the astonishing tale of the 1994 1-cent coin that has stunned collectors, shocked experts, and made headlines for reportedly fetching a jaw-dropping $69 million due to a combination of ultra-rare minting errors, production defects, and historical oddities that elevate this ordinary-looking penny into the stratosphere of numismatic legend. And as unbelievable as it may seem that a single copper-colored coin from the mid-90s could command such a fortune, when you dive into the details, the layers of intrigue, technical anomalies, and historical backdrop make it clear why this particular piece is so profoundly valuable, and why it has set collectors on a relentless hunt through bank rolls, coin jars, and change trays in search of another. Starting with the fact that 1994 marked a transitional period for the U.S. Mint in terms of die usage, blank sourcing, and the introduction of new press systems which, while designed to improve production consistency, inadvertently led to a spike in rare and dramatic errors, particularly among Lincoln cents produced in that year, and the now famous 1994 cent, believed to have originated from the Philadelphia Mint, has become the stuff of legend not only because of its condition and error variety but because of the sheer number of anomalies it displays all on a single planchet, and that is virtually unheard of, making it a numismatic unicorn, the kind of once-in-a-lifetime find that transforms an everyday collector into a millionaire overnight. And what makes this story so compelling isn't just the seven-figure price tag but the confluence of precise factors that had to go wrong, all at the exact right time and place for this coin to exist, including a misaligned obverse die resulting in a dramatic off-center strike that leaves Lincoln's portrait partially missing and bleeding into the rim, which alone would catch the attention of any serious error collector. But that's only the beginning because this particular cent also exhibits a clear double die on both the obverse and reverse, visible doubling on Lincoln's eye, nose, lips, and the date, and on the reverse, distinct doubling in the United States of America inscription, E pluribus unum, and even the Lincoln Memorial columns which appear stacked or shadowed due to the faulty die strike, and on top of that, it displays a retained die break, commonly referred to as a retained cud, on the upper right rim of the obverse, which is a rare die fracture that results in a raised blob of metal that didn't completely detach during the striking process. And these types of retained cuds are especially desirable among collectors because they offer a glimpse into the minting process and the stress fractures that develop in overused dies. And this 1994 penny also exhibits an improperly annealed planchet, giving it an unusual discoloration and texture, almost matte-like in appearance, with metallurgical tests later confirming uneven copper plating and irregular zinc exposure, suggesting that the planchet had not been uniformly heated before striking, which not only affects its appearance but adds yet another layer of uniqueness. And then there's the truly bizarre element, a partial blockage error on the reverse where the image from the previously struck coin was partially impressed onto this one. A kind of minting echo that leaves a ghostly imprint on one side and disrupts the typical coin relief. and such blockage errors are extremely rare and highly sought after, especially when combined with other anomalies. And that's not all, because close examination also revealed a die clash, when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, causing elements of the opposing design to be imprinted on the wrong side of the coin, which left traces of the reverse shield faintly visible under Lincoln's bust, giving this coin yet another rare identifier. And when all of these factors, double die obverse and reverse, misalignment, retained cud, off-center strike, improper planchet, blockage, and die clash, are found together in a single specimen, what you have is an unprecedented minting disaster that somehow escaped detection and was released into circulation. Possibly as part of a routine bank shipment, or from a test run that was never meant to leave the facility. And what makes this story even more electrifying is the discovery itself, which came not from a high-end collector or institutional grader but from an everyday person sifting through spare change in a jar, who noticed the unusual coloring and shape and wisely chose to have the coin evaluated by professionals, and once it was authenticated by multiple grading services including PCGS and NGC, each confirming the authenticity and severity of the errors, it was encased, assigned a unique registry number, and rapidly became a media sensation, with prominent auction houses competing to represent it, and private collectors making secretive offers, until it finally sold at a high-profile private auction for a record-setting $69 million, instantly making it the most valuable modern-era penny and one of the highest-priced era coins in American history, and this sale sent shockwaves through the numismatic community, sparking renewed interest in 1990s coinage and prompting collectors worldwide to revisit their holdings in search of overlooked gems, and since then, additional era varieties from 1994 have gained attention and value, including minor doubled dies, small off-center strikes, die chips on the date or lettering, and planchet discolorations, all of which may not reach million-dollar status individually but have nonetheless increased in value substantially due to the halo effect of the $69 million sale. And beyond the numismatic community, this coin has attracted the attention of historians, economists, and cultural commentators who see it as a symbol of how value can emerge from chaos, how something meant to be routine and standardized can, through human error and mechanical failure, become a symbol of uniqueness and extreme worth, and it raises questions about the nature of money, value, and rarity in a mass-produced world, and for everyday collectors and the general public. This story serves as both inspiration and motivation to check their change more carefully, to dig out old coin jars and inspect each cent with a loupe or magnifying glass, to look not just for beauty but for mistakes, because it is the mistakes that can be worth millions, and in a world where minting processes are becoming increasingly automated and error-free, the presence of such an extreme multi-error coin is a reminder of the fleeting window during which such anomalies can occur, and as technology improves, the chances of future coins displaying this level of error diminish drastically, further increasing the value of this 1994 penny. As a historical relic from an era when minting imperfections still slip through the cracks, and with every year that passes, fewer of these coins are likely to exist in good condition, making the known specimen not just a collector's item but a time capsule from a fascinating period in mint history. And it's for all these reasons, the drama, the rarity, the chaos, the incredible discovery, the flawless authentication, and the life-changing financial windfall that the 1994 1-cent coin has earned its place in the pantheon of numismatic legends and captured the imaginations of collectors across the globe, and it stands as proof that you don't need a gold bar or ancient artifact to find extraordinary value. Sometimes, all it takes is a penny, a sharp eye, and a bit of luck. So if you've ever dismissed small change as meaningless, think again. Because stories like this remind us that even the smallest coin can carry the biggest surprise, and the next $1 million cent might just be sitting in your pocket right now, waiting to be discovered. So take a moment to look, to search, to wonder, because the world of coins is full of surprises and fortune favors the curious. And if you found this story exciting, enlightening, or downright unbelievable, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss the next incredible story about coins, currency, and the secret treasures hiding in plain sight.